Welcome back, my friends. Here we are on Lesson 9, and I hope you are using your source code and making that deep connection to your higher self. So far, we've learned about our house of consciousness and decided that we want to put more furniture upstairs, more programming, and we're doing that by practicing our connection to our I Am line. And we're using that powerful source code as a trigger to unlock the door to manifesting from the higher self. You may find that you want to listen to this a few more times. That's perfect, because repetition is what makes changes in the subconscious mind. You have also chosen at least one thing that you want to manifest and what it will feel like when you do. And you're learning to access those energies in your line. And now comes the hard part, life. Sometimes it doesn't feel like you're supported in staying right there in your line, positive every moment. In over 35 years of study from many traditions, one of the most common teachings, which makes everything else work, is understanding this one thing. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. What you put your attention on most of the time determines what you will create and experience in your life. But our attention is not easily managed. In fact, did you know that human beings now have an attention span shorter than a goldfish? We have on average less than an 8-second attention span. Goldfish have 9 seconds. We have gone from 12 seconds to 8 seconds over a span of 15 years. From the I Am Discourses, Volume 3, page 93, it says this, quote, "When a student understands that whatsoever he connects himself with through his attention, he becomes a part of, to the degree of the intensity with which his attention is fixed," unquote. And that's our challenge. What am I looking at? Am I looking at all the things that are not working, or am I looking at things that are going well? There was a time in my life when I was going through a bit of a professional and personal transition. Little by little, I had gotten out of my daily practice and slipped into a pattern of looking at quite consistently what I did not like about my life. I didn't like the place I lived. My mind constantly focused on the negatives. Although it was actually quite nice, I was giving most of my attention to why it didn't work for me, what was wrong, how I wanted something more. At one point, it occurred to me that I had, little by little, developed a new habit of looking at what I didn't want. Focusing on what we don't want is a habit of thought. Most people focus on what they don't want. Have you ever listened to the conversation of friends or even the news? It is about the problems, challenges, and fearful conditions that are everywhere present. If focusing on what we don't want is a habit of thought, we can change that habit and create a new one of focusing on what we do want instead. But it does take practice. It takes practice to train our mind to focus on what is working, what we do want, and more than that, to focus on the power of the I Am presence and the limitless nature of its being in us. When we notice that our attention has gone away from our goal, away from our visualization, away from what we want, call on your I Am presence. Say, "Mighty I Am presence, see that I get my thought back where it needs to be. I am focused and I have clear attention on the truth." We must learn not to look at the world of externals and appearances, or they will take us into fear and worry faster than you can click your fingers. We have to have a reason, and we have to have help. Your I Am nature is your help. Mighty I Am presence, see that I keep my attention focused on the truth. I am focusing on the truth. I am focusing on the things that are going terrific. Help me, mighty I Am Presence, to keep my attention focused on the truth. So I decided to quit focusing on what I didn't want in my living arrangement. Every time I caught myself thinking about what wasn't working, I stopped myself. I am loving my wonderful house. I began to contemplate that which I wanted in a living arrangement and visioning, asking my higher self what was its highest design for me. What was its highest idea for my joy and happiness that met all my needs? I began to contemplate my own space, my house, my furniture, my family around. That's what I really wanted. I became clear on what I really wanted, being close to family, a good neighborhood, attractive and clean, lovely environment, where I would feel safe, secure, and happy. Now, at that time, that visualization was a far cry from what I thought was even possible. Because of location, money, timing, everything seemed against me. But that didn't matter. In manifesting from the higher self, we learned that the internal world is first. So I started contemplating, feeling inside of me the comfort of being in my home, a nice neighborhood, having a relaxed attitude about money, having my family nearby. And over, I felt the reality of it inside of me. I saw it. I felt it. Now, when I wasn't doing that practice, I have to tell you, when I would look around my external life, it was easy to get distracted. This wasn't happening. What was I going to do? But that's the time to remember this teaching. The power of your attention. Come back to your line and come back to focusing on your I am statements, focusing on the truth, focusing on it all working out perfectly. Returning my attention back to the place of peace. Because when we're in fear and doubt and looking at that appearance world around us, we can slip down on floors 1 and 2. When we go downstairs, we open that chest of fear and doubt, the goblins down there, and they come out and they bring all their friends. So our first course of action is get back upstairs. Use your I am line. Use your words of I am. I am fine. I am safe. Everything is happening in divine right action. I can trust the universe. I am that I am. All is working for my highest good. And come back upstairs and use your attention to get in that elevator. Use your attention to come upstairs. Come up to the 3rd floor, where you can affirm and know the higher truth. So back to my story. Eventually, I gave a 30-day notice in my old place before I had even found the new place. I knew it was time. I knew it was there. I knew it would show up. There was a window of opportunity. And even though I didn't know exactly what it was or where it was, I felt the reality of it, and I knew I needed to make that commitment with that 30-day notice. And of course, it manifested in perfect right timing. So the fact is, I could give a 30-day notice before finding the new place because I had had successful manifesting experiences, and I know this stuff works. And I have a relationship with the I Am Presence. And that relationship shows up as intuition and guidance and an inner knowing when it's time to act. One more wonderful sharing from the I Am Discourses, page 97. The attention is the channel by which the divine energy, through thought and feeling, flows to its directed accomplishment. Because one has not yet manifested something from the invisible, there is that lurking doubt until some simple manifestation has occurred. Then his courage and confidence leaps into dominion, and in the future he has no trouble in manifesting what he desires. That's right, practice. Practice is the key. The truth is, we have centuries of collective programming on limitation. So it's like we're reversing the flow of this massive river. It takes determination. Our conditioning and the cloudiness of the conditioned mind, it takes a little bit of practice to begin to see through the fog. It takes determination, but not struggle, just a relaxed yet determined intention to watch and redirect our attention and keep it on what we want rather than what we don't want. Practice. That's right. Focus on what you want. Focus on what you already have. Focus on gratitude. Where have you been focusing on what you don't want? Today, see the ways that you have been focusing on what you don't want. Write down a replacement thought and practice it. For example, are you focusing on not enough money? Well, when you notice that, decide every time that a thought arises, you're going to focus on what you do have, the money you do have, the resources you do have. Focusing on the energy of safety, security, freedom. Are you focusing on a lack of love? Are you focusing on loneliness? When you notice that, redirect your attention and focus on the love that you do have. Focus on your breath. Come into the present moment. Say a couple of your I am chants. Move into your line. I promise you, if you make the number one redirection of your attention into the simple I am affirmation, the simple present moment breath, I am, and that becomes your intentional focus. That's powerful. That brings you into your line. It brings you in alignment with your higher self, and it gives you back choice. The choice to redirect your thought, the choice to go upstairs, the choice to choose, the choice to contemplate a higher idea. That's right. So today's message is attention. Focus on what you do have in gratitude. So tomorrow is our last class, and you don't want to miss it. We will complete our course with a powerful sacred source code ritual to ground you in the being of your desire, allowing you to release fear, doubt, and worry. And as you make this deep connection to your higher self, I am, you can trust its power to do, create, and support you in all your deepest desires. So I'll see you tomorrow, my beautiful friends.